Seriously, how often do you meditate? There's so much distraction. If you were to rate on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being this the best meditation you ever had, you were already floating up there. 1 being I never left. I was still very much trapped in my deluded happiness. How would you rate this morning's short sitting? On a scale of 1 to 10, huh? 10 means super shock, 1 means ayo. Okay? Who say 1? Who say 2? If you don't point out, don't raise your hand, I will ask you what was yours. So I'll start again, huh? Who say 1? Who say 2? Who say 3? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, no 9, 8, 7, I know there's no 10. Who's 10 by the way? Any 10? So you're roughly at the, okay lah. The ones who say okay, the odds are you actually can do far better at home, on your own, right? And the ones who say, ayo. So IE today, nobody actually got a good sitting, yes? Anybody got a good sitting? You did. You got 10. Oh, next time just put it out. Okay, now, I'll just take a short while to get into this meditation thing. You know I'm doing a class on Wednesday. If you're interested, come by. I will answer your questions on Wednesday, but not today. Today I will not talk about meditation. I just want to say that even if your sitting is not okay, it was a sitting. It was not okay because you had higher expectations. So that's your fault. Okay, we're going to do this Dhammapada verse number 74. Have you all seen this verse before?
Yes.
No? Yes?
Yes.
You know the story? You all check out the story? Do you know why I chose this particular stanza for this morning's chat? No. No. Okay. Now, I actually, before I was asked to choose a Dhammapada verse to chat. And I scanned through. I scanned through verse by verse by verse by verse, waiting for the one that says, me! And that's when I stopped and say, okay, why you? So this one called out. I don't know for what reason when I was going through this particular verse called out. Then as I was staring at it, it dawned on me that actually there are 4 points that one can make on this verse. You can sit here, there is like an entire row of emptiness.
It's okay.
Sunyata here. Feel free,
Sorry, brothers and sisters, can you guys try and move forward a bit more? Because I'm quite sure...
No, you can come here. This sunyata here, this space. Easy, feel free, This particular Dhammapada verse, I call it conceit. Let both laymen and bhikkhus think that things are done because of me. Let them obey me in all matters, great and small. Such being the thoughts of the fool, his greed and his pride grow. It sounds like a verse that talks about bhikkhu conduct. And indeed, the story of this particular, the story that was attached to this particular stanza is a story of a relationship between a bhikkhu and a lay person. But in a very unusual twist, the lay person was the Arya, and the bhikkhu was a mere Putujana practitioner. Do you know the word Putujana? You guys are the master of mutter. I know you, under normal circumstances, you're very cheerfully loud. But when it comes to offering a point at a Dhamma talk, you become very soft. What are you saying? Do you know Putujana, the word?
Yes.
No? Yes? Okay. Okay, just a long story short. In the practice, Buddha identified two types of people. Now, there are many types of people, okay? But in this particular category, he mentioned two types. Arya, Putujana, okay? Arya would be the practitioners who have attained a very deep understanding of the Dhamma. And because of the deep understanding, they no longer are held shackled by certain habits that keep you going round and round and round in bursts after bursts after bursts. Okay? And Arya is one who understands enough of the Dhamma so that your rebirth energy is cut and that it reduces. A Putujana is someone with the same average delusional impression of the world. You don't know how your mind works. You are therefore trapped by the habits of your mind. Putujana. It merely means one who is trapped in this world. You're trapped by the habits and the lack of understanding of the mind. Okay? So, in this particular sutta, it's about the relationship between an Arya layperson and a Putujana monk. To cut a very long story short, the particular layperson is very unusual. His name is Chitta. He's a man, so it's Chitta. If it's a woman, it would be Chitta. Okay? So because it's Chitta, it's a man. Chitta was an Arya. I cannot remember exactly what stage, maybe third stage, second or third stage. So very deep level of understanding of the Dhamma. But despite having that kind of deep insight about the Dhamma, he never became a monk. He remained a lay person. But he was a super patron of the Sangha. Continued to give lots of dana. Every day invite lots of monks to his place and he dana them. So one monk in particular was becoming territorial. There's my lay supporter, my lay supporter. So it was territorial, I don't want to share. And long story, as I said, this is not important, the actual story is not important, but the idea is important. So because the monk was territorial, he got upset. He was not happy with certain things. So anyhow, he left upset. Then Buddha, he went back complained to Buddha, lodged complaint to upper management. The Buddha said to the monk, behave yourself. Go back, apologize. Buddha told the monk, you go back and you apologize to the layperson, to Chitta. So the monk, having been told by the Buddha, behave, go apologize, went back, apologize, no grudgingly. Like that, like that. Chitta, now imagine yourself in his shoes. Huh? Imagine, you first never expect monk to apologize, right? But here, he apologized. What did Chitta say? Not accepted. Bopaki. Ooh, the monk was Stunned. Went back to Buddha. Buddha said, go back, apologize again. This time do it sincerely. And he went back. And he was subdued. Because he kena scolding from Buddha twice. Went back, he was subdued, and he apologized sincerely. And Chitta said, okay, can, approve, can. So you say, hey, this is very weird, what's going on? I will tell you what's going on later. Now we go into the sutta proper. Okay? Let's make sure you won't run off halfway in the talk. Give you the punchline at the end. Okay, this Dhamma talk, this is about mana, conceit. Specifically conceit. And why introduce this particular talk about conceit? Because this is a problem we all have. All of us. What is the word mana? Mana, translated into English, conceit. But mana, in the traditional sense, has actually a few meanings. Meaning number one, it's about measuring. When you have conceit, if you ask yourself, when your ego up, and your ego is up, what are you doing? What's happening in your mind? You will find that you are measuring. I'm better than you. I'm better than him. At the best. Superlative, huh? Better, best. Good, better, best. So you measure. Or it's the other way around. I'm not as good. I'm worse than you. You ask yourself, don't you have this problem? I can't meditate. I'm not as good as she. I'm not as good as he. I can't do it. It is not within my means. We have these two problems. On the one hand, we think we're better. On the other, we think we're worse. Therefore, bottom line, we're schizophrenic. You see the problem? But there's a third one. And the third one is just as problematic, is I'm as good as you. Or I'm as bad as you. Therefore, ati, hina, sama. Ati high, hina low, sama same. Don't we have that problem? Every time your ego comes up, isn't it? It's about comparing. So, this talk is to point out to us mana as an energy, as a mental mana, conceit as a mental energy has this feature, the feature of comparing. And when you feel this mental energy, it is unpleasant. Mana is never pleasant. Conceit, when it arises, makes you feel tak shook, isn't it? Not good. Second, the second point about conceit is conceit is never just about me. Conceit always must have another person or another thing present. When have you ever got conceited on your own? I'm full of conceit, alone in my house. Since when? It's usually when there is another individual. So what, you ask? So conceit is always an issue in relationship. Conceit as a point is always an issue in relationship. Because it's never about singular, it's always plural. Plural. Okay? And therefore comes the next point. Conceit is always a problem for you and for someone else. Because it's about relationship. Always a problem. Why is it always a problem? Because fundamentally, conceit rests on another mental energy, which is about lobha. Lobha, greed. It is greed about your image. It is greed about possession. It's always sitting on something else. as a mental energy not enough, it has to sit on other mental energies. You understand? You think about it. And in this particular sutta, it's a particular form of conceit. In this particular sutta, the conceit pertains to an image and it pertains to power. Let them think things are done because of me and let them obey me. So the conceit in this particular one, you build a mental image, because that's the other form of conceit, having a mental image, and you want people to see the mental image. Because of that mental image, you say, I am responsible for this, because I'm responsible for it, and you all think so, you will listen to me. Do you understand what's going on here? No? Yes? Mother, okay? Do you see that you see, the beautiful thing about Dhammapada verses is it's not esoteric. Dhammapada verses are easy to understand, they're very straightforward. Sometimes they're so straightforward, you see them no up. You're not impressed with them. Ooh, today must speak proper English. Huh? The young ones are the most vociferous critique, you know. Okay, do you see that? Do you understand that? So let me just sum it up again. Conceit has two parts, two broad categories. In case I meander all over and you got lost, there are two broad categories. Category one, it's about comparing. I'm better, I'm worse, I'm not as good, I'm as good, that sort of thing. It's comparing. The second type of category, it's about building a mental image. Building a mental image about yourself. If I say, wow, this person is really conceited, what springs to mind? He thinks very highly of himself, right? But that's the more blatant one. If you put a more subtle one, if it's slightly more subtle than that, it's about, I'm looking good. I have this mental image of me. Let you also have the same mental image of me. And when you have that mental image of me, you will respect me. You will love me. You will see me very up. I have to sneak one past him, you know. You see what I'm saying? And when that happens, why would you want people to have good mental image of you? When you know it's not real. If it's real, do you really care? Okay, it's real. But if it's not real, because he says, let them think so. So mental image has the real version and the 冒牌货. Check that. You have the real version, the product version, and then you have the 冒牌货, the fake version. And you wonder, wow, if you are as you are, the real version, so be it. But if you are fake, and you want others to see you in the version you want them to see, that's a lie. So you can see that this conceit is a very big problem. And you know what? Only the Arahant can break it. You see the problem? The problem, if you say, oh, you already got a conceit problem, it's okay. You're not Arahant yet, it's okay. Only the Arahant is able to let this mental energy go. So it's a big problem. Then the question is, why? Why does this mental energy arise? And that comes the next point. This mental energy, I told you earlier on, sits on low bar, right? You remember the Eightfold Path? Now I'm going to take you back to the Dhamma. I mean, I was talking Dhamma earlier on, but now it's the real hard one, okay? The Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. You remember the Dhamma for the Eightfold Path? Number 2 of the steps, 8 steps, number 2. What is it?
Right understanding.
See good at this class. Right thought. Samma sankappa, right? You remember right thought has 3 parts, isn't it? Nekamma, renunciation. Salah, not right thought. Sorry, not the fourth full path. The second one. No. 4 noble truth. First noble truth, dukkha. Second noble truth, origin, right? Origin. The reason for the dukkha. You remember the reason for the dukkha has 3 parts? Reason for dukkha has 3 parts. Tanha is the reason for dukkha. Craving is the reason why there is dukkha. Yes? Craving. Okay? Craving, Buddha said, there are 3 types of craving. Remember? First type of craving is kama tanha. Greed, craving for sense delight. Kama tanha. Never attend basic Buddhist course, huh? Or specifically, never attend my class. My manak cannot take it, you know. Okay, you remember second noble truth under craving. There are 3 types of craving. Kama tanha, bhava tanha, vibhava tanha. Kama tanha, craving for sense delight. Second craving, bhava tanha, craving for existence, according to the translation by Bhikkhu Bodhi. Okay? But if you read Ajahn Chah, his translation is a little different, and I like that version, the practitioner version. Bhava tanha is a mental image. Either it's a mental image, you want to be something. You want to be thought of being in a certain way. Don't you find yourself wanting to be thought highly of? Wanting to be respected? Wanting to give a good impression? Wanting to have good standing? Don't you like that? As opposed to wanting to live. But whole day you usually don't think about wanting to live. You assume you live. You assume you're not dying next minute. Right? But if you look at the Ajahn Chah's version, that one more like it lah. Whole day you're afraid of people's image, ma. Whole day you want to look good, you know. Why do you dress like that? Why you dress like that? Because you want to look good. My most vociferous fan. I like you already. You know what I'm saying? Bhava tanha has to do with one thing. No, tanha is to do with something, wanting something. Bhava tanha in one version is really about wanting to look good, wanting praise, wanting to be seen in a certain way. A mental image that you keep projecting. That's actually one way of understanding the word bhava tanha. There's another way which today is not the class. So, conceit actually goes all the way back to the basic 4 noble truth. It's all there. How we all get very caught up. And because of a certain version, the big problem for others is therefore in relationship. Why would you listen to me and not listen to yourself? Why would a person listen to you and not listen to himself? Because he thinks you know better. Why would you listen to A and not just make your own decisions? Why do you go to someone for ideas, for advice? Why? Because you assume that person knows better. Yes? If your perception of that person is wrong, and then you assume he is right, and you always go to him, then what happened? Xiao liao lor. See the problem? So you don't look at this verse and see the verse no up, okay? So you're not impressed with the verse. Because it's a lot, captured in there is a lot of wisdom. Now, I introduced this at one level is to point out the beauty of this Dhammapada verse and to alert you to the problems in our mind, the habits in our mind. So at one level is to understand conceit, understand it as a problem, understand it so that you can take care, be more aware how your mind constantly harp about mental image and compare and so on and so forth. Number one. Number two, it's about the practice. All Dhammapada verses has a story about correct practice. Everyone. So this particular one, very simply, is for us to be aware of the mind mental habits and learn not to take that habit seriously. Everything that arises in the mind is mind-made. Every view, every assumption, every bias, every thought, they are mind-made. I've said this until my saliva dry up. But you may or may not still get it. Now you ask yourself this. You think, you ask yourself this. Back to this earlier question. Why would you listen to so and so? Why would you listen to him? I ask you. And I said, it's because you believe the person is of a certain wisdom. A certain intelligence, a certain credibility. Right? You believe that. Isn't it, my mate? You believe. It's all about what you say in your mind. You happy, say happy. You assume. And based on the conclusion, you listen. Wasn't it my mate? Then you say, yeah, but maybe he's right. It's right then. Yes, he may well be worthy of your conclusion. But you don't measure him objectively. You have absolutely no idea in terms of this person's credibility or wisdom or whatever. You have no idea absolute measurement. You only have what you have concluded. It's your conclusion, and because it's your conclusion, it's mind-made. And you know, the scary thing is in how we relate to the world. The entire world is mind-made by you. I'm not saying the world doesn't exist. I'm not saying that. The world exists. I'm saying that you live in the world according to what you conclude about the world. And as far as you are concerned, the world indeed is like that. Because you have concluded so. Then when you sit down with someone you love, or someone you respect, and the two of you talk 悄悄话, 不用太悄，大声一点. You talk, and let's say you share your views about the world, right? The two of you sharing your view. You will discover your perception and that person's perception is not identical. You put in one third person, and there will be shades of differences in the narrative of the world. What does that mean? It means there are three mind-made worlds. What's the point of telling you all this? The point is to tell you don't take everything you believe seriously. Whatever that you believe, okay, you have to live in the world. You have to believe what? If you don't believe, then you go around, I don't believe, I don't believe, I don't believe. Also cannot jalan, also jalan. But you don't have to take it so seriously to the point that you will stake your life and your limbs on your beliefs. Lightly lah. Lightly. It's okay. Be open-minded. So I'm telling you, the conceit is a mental energy. It has a mind-made, it sits on a mind-made assumptions, and don't defend it to the death. It's okay. If you can adopt that attitude, you will find that life is not so painful. Most time, life is very painful because you embrace to the death your belief. Then die lor. You're already prepared to embrace it to the death. 对不对？明白吗？Okay. Now, two other points. Point one, this one is a reminder to all of us. It's a reminder to all of us. The story. You remember the story is about the relationship between a well-practiced layperson and a Putujana monk. And in this relationship, the Buddha told the monk that he had to apologize to the layperson. I find, now this is not the only story like that. There are many stories in Dhammapada, in the suttas, many stories where the relationship of the lay community and the Sangha community is not like what you perceive it today. And I want you all, if you have the chance, to go through and become familiar, be aware of a very different type of relationship, one between parities. In the time of the Buddha, it was never ever cast, ever. It was never cast as, this is a rope, you bow to it. It was never cast like this. It has always been mutual respect. I respect you, you respect me. I am deeply, as a layperson, you must be deeply grateful for the individual who's prepared to let go of things that matter to the normal person. What does a normal person want? A normal person, you are normal, right? Any abnormal one here. So what I say don't apply to you. Most of us are normal, right? And a normal person will go for the following. You will go for accumulation of assets, and you will go for family. Who say my family more important than I? You don't agree? Seriously, you don't agree? Girl, boy, here, okay? Most of us, I'm pretending to speak for you, most of us are saying, my family is important to me, yes? Yes. Yeah? When I don't expect you to raise your hand, you're very happy nodding your head. Yes? Would you, some of us will say, my family members more important than I am. Meaning you're not as important as your family member. Some of us will say that, right? My England very difficult to understand, he said. Ask a question. Sorry, repeat. No, yes? Okay, whatever. Some of us would actually see individual in the family's needs and wants and you prioritize them over yourself. Yes? Yes. Must ask. What jialat? Must be Sunday morning. Okay. And an individual who takes up the role has given that up. He has given up the things that the average normal person values in order to pursue a practice that will take him to understand the Dhamma. You understand? It's a sacrifice. Because of that sacrifice and because of that noble intent, why would he do that? Why would he give up his family and give up possession to undertake this practice? Because of a belief that it will lead to liberation of the mind, nibbana. And when they have that understanding, they will want to teach others and keep the Dhamma alive. You understand that? It's because of this. It's because of this noble intent, the willingness to give up their own life, to pursue this spiritual knowledge, and then to help others understand that also. It's because of this that you bow to him. It is not because of the role. It's because the individual made the sacrifice to understand, to preserve the Dhamma, to keep it alive for the next generation, that we bow to the individual. And we say, for your noble effort, we will support you. Because you won't do it. We won't do it. Yeah, what's up? No, you won't do it. This is important to understand. And if you go through the suttas, you read the Dhammapada verses, you will find the Buddha teaching this again and again. It's because of the practice to realize, to teach, to guide, to preserve the Dhamma. It's because of all this that they are worthy of that respect, the offering, the salutation, and so on and so forth. So I brought you a story to remind you, to bring it to your awareness that you need to show every respect to the practitioner monk. To the practitioner monk. You understand? And be very clear, you're talking about the practitioner sangha. Every respect. And to serve and to support them is to help preserve the Dhamma. I will flip it around, boldly flip it around. I'm very bold today. If you support wrongly, then you yourself are doing injustice to the Triple Gems. You think about it. If you support wrongly, the wu are ho, bo are ho, everything also ho. How you throw money, then the money is wasted. Because it means that you will support wrong practices. You say okay one ma? Look what you got okay one ma? Do you understand? Okay. Understand, but they're not saying. Okay, I understand. The last point that I want to make is this. You and I know that we are all very much human now. And you and I know what that means, the word human. Human means got good, got bad, sometimes good, sometimes bad, depending on condition. Kusala, right? Yes? No? You very kusala, is it? We're sure we have got kusala and akusala. In this particular case, it's a particular type, I told you, it's a particular type of akusala mental state. You need to be very aware of your own mind and be aware of the minds of another in this particular type of mental state. What do I mean? So, because some of you look so distraught as if I'm speaking in a different language. English, speak English. If you are dealing with conceit, not yours, another's, you need to know back away. It's a mental energy the fellow is trying to deal with. Don't go there and feed the conceit. To yourself, don't feed your own conceit. To another, don't feed their conceit. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you agree with what I'm saying? More important. You understand, huh? You agree, huh? So then, how do you not feed the conceit? Don't flatter. Because if there's one thing that will feed conceit is you 对，哎对，这样最好，最好。看什么 Don't feed it. Walk away. Let go. So that everything mind-made. You somehow got mind-made until what reach heaven. No, don't do that. Just let it go. Walk away. It's okay. Doesn't matter. Whatever you want to say, you can say whatever. Because, remember, I told you before, conceit must have two people, one person, the bubble will burst. I'm so great, but there's nobody agreeing with me. You know what I'm saying? So, what do you do? Don't hang around and let it float bigger and bigger. Walk away. Sorry, I need to go toilet. Then you go off and don't come back. Because you go and hang around. You hang around means enough for fanning. You don't even have to say anything. You know the beautiful thing about this thing, our mind is so kilat. It can build. And you don't have to agree, you just have to be there. Huh? Agree? All you have to just sit down there, and as long as you don't look too alarmed, as long as you don't have to look too alarmed, they can feed and it will grow and it will grow, and you're just going to watch this self-imploding thing, you know. So walk away, let go, move on. After all my name. Why is it a problem for us? Were you guys here in early May when I talked about karma? Some of you were here, you remember? Do you remember what I said about karma? Karma is all about what imprints, what lives and imprint in the mind. So it becomes karmic. It becomes karmic when you go and walk around and you go and paste against negative activities. Someone else's negative activity, akusala activities. You go paste your mind there, you also gonna paste it on your mind. Paste it. Why do I say that? Let me ask you, we do a social experiment, okay? Let's do a social experiment. I expect you to raise either the right hand or the left hand. You have an option. You have an option, either the right or the left. Do you remember? You all watch shows. Who doesn't watch shows? Ask the right question, get the right answer. Okay, everybody watch shows, huh? Everybody watches shows. Okay, now I ask you this. Do you remember any movie or any show that you watched that leaves a mark of fear? Watch already was scared. Ever got? Do you remember the movie? Okay, then do you remember movies where you watch already got angry? Got?
Yeah.
Anything making you scared and angry right now? No. But you just pull out the image, pull out the storyline, and you got scared, got anger. You remember the anger, you remember the fear. Your memory will present a version. It's not a lovely version, it's a corrupted version of whatever it was recorded, and there is your karma. Anger arises, fear arises. If you remember the incident, if you remember something. So when bad things are happening around you, meaning someone is very akusala, you go put yourself there and listen. It will leave behind fingerprints in your brain. That that is also karma. You kept it, ma. You kept it, you replayed it, you get upset again. Come on. What else is come on? Think of it, every time you go through the airport machine, right? You know, the passport, the biometric, huh? You know how many thumbprints there, right? Your brain like that. That is why the practitioners will always tell us, let it go, don't hold, let be, move on. There's a reason for doing that. Remember all the practitioners, right? You read all the monks, when they teach, they always teach, don't hold on to your thoughts, don't hold on to these things. If you can, just forget it, let it go. Why? Because at night, when you sleep, the cleaning crew will come and remove everything you don't think about to make space, REM space, to make REM space. I talk about you like you're a machine. You think what? You are a machine, what? You're just an organic machine. So at night, the cleaning crew up here will come and they clean up the place and get rid of them. But if you think, if you keep thinking, then what happens is the brain then creates a special section in the brain, organically, you know, they create the neural pathways. They created it, and then it becomes like a squatter that doesn't leave. Because after a while, the squatter is going to take over your place. The cleaning crew come at night to clean up the place and notice this one has squatter lodging already. They say, oh, this one cannot touch. They don't touch, they move on to clean up other things. If you don't spend your mind remembering the Dhamma, but you spend your mind remembering the akusala, then salah liao. You understand? You must spend your mind, spend your time remembering the Dhamma, so that at night when you sleep, the cleaning crew doesn't go evict all the Dhamma. The more you think, the more they stay. If you don't think, they will not stay. So, Buddha used the word lap Dhamma. Have you heard of this phrase? Buddha used this phrase, lap Dhamma. Why? Because you stand up, the Dhamma drop off. It only stays on your lap. Smart, Buddha. So you must remember this. What you spend your energy and your mind dealing with, that's the one that will stay with you. So if you spend your time being akusala, I know, your akusala thing will be the one got left behind. Fella will come in and let's go clean up this place. Oh, all this black was the one. Okay, well, just leave them here and move on. So not so good, huh? Okay, you got 15 minutes to ask questions. Today is a simple talk. Simple talk. I will spend a bit more time answering your questions.
Right. So we shall open the floor for questions. Anybody who would like to have questions, do raise your hand. I'll pass the mic to you.
Thank you very much for very enlightening talk. I would like to ask one question. Just now you mentioned that conceit can only be totally eliminated when somebody reaches arahantship.
Yeah.
Yes, I hear the right thing. Okay. So how to actually, is there a way to cut down or to remove it in this, in a layperson life?
Yes. Good question. Get A for question. Bit of conceit a bit, Evil. Okay. You know that in the practice, the Buddha talk very much about anicca, dukkha, anatta, right? Anicca, impermanent. What is impermanent is dukkha. What is dukkha is anatta. Anatta, this thing about not I, not mine, not self, right? This idea. That is one of the method of trying to reduce the conceit. Because every time, and we could be very sharp, every time the mental energy of conceit arises, you look at the conceit and you say, no I here, no I, no mind here. initially, you don't believe. Your mind will say, "Gong lo," right? Every time we say not I, not mine, the mind doesn't believe. Because there's a part of you that says, "No, but I still feel it's mine." You will say that. And then you stop doing it. Salah, you must continue doing it. The mind is flexible. After a while of saying it, you will begin to internalize that. Internalize the feeling that this is not mine, this is not I. After a while of internalizing, you do it very consistently, again and again and again, you do it. After a while, the neural pathways will be constructed in a certain way. Because of that construction, the mind begins to believe. So that's one way of doing it. It's taught by the Buddha, it's one way. The other way is to really stare at impermanence. Anicca. You stare and you stare and you stare at impermanence. Impermanence of what? Impermanence of mental states and physical state as experienced through the mental states. So we talk about the impermanence of the 5 aggregates. To you, you may say, that's Dhamma, very cheap. No, you have feelings, right? You have perception, right? You sit on the floor, your butt feels the floor, there is contact, there is form, yes? When your mind moves from hearing to seeing to form contact to feeling, it's a constant succession of things appearing in the mind, registered by the mind. It comes out and goes, it comes out and it goes. Again and again and again. When you stare, in a very sustained way, you stare at the mind, mindfulness sharp. You never drop the mindfulness. At some point, the mind will register deeply that there is no constant. When the mind starts to register there is no constant, then the mind doesn't mind anymore. It's when the mind kept seeing only constant, or rather the mind sees a constant, develops a fear, reacts to the fear, cannot see the fear softening and dissipating. When the mind doesn't see change, the mind assumes constant. When the mind keeps seeing change, the mind eventually realizes change is the constant. When that happens, what ego are you talking about? You begin to realize ego is a mental energy that arises and fades. It doesn't even last. I am not saying something that cannot be experienced by every single one of you. It is your mind. It can be experienced. And if you say, not me, conceit, mana, kena wham by mana. It can be done, it cannot be done. I can't do it. Kena wham by mana. It is your conversation telling you, you yourself telling yourself it cannot be done. When you say cannot be done, who can do? You can't do already. Because you artificially put a glass ceiling right here. Not even here, here. It cannot be done. So, if you can see, you are able to develop the mindfulness and you are able to see very clearly the constant flipping of the mind, it will dawn on you so sharp. There's no constant. Things will just change and change and change. Mental state keeps changing. When mental states keeps changing, what are you holding on to? At some point, it becomes very clear to you, your holding on is a delusion. You begin to realize that. So, how do you reduce mana? By really understanding the Dhamma of the mind. It's the Dhamma of the mind. You need to understand and see for yourself and be present. Be present. When the mind is struggling with the dukkha, your mindfulness is right there staring at the dukkha. And when you stare at the dukkha and observe how the dukkha fades away, that's when you begin to understand Dhamma. Dhamma is not understood by dutifully attending class, passing exam year after year, scoring your straight A's, and coming out with a PhD. That's not how Dhamma is understood. Dhamma is also not understood through attending retreats after retreats. Because in the retreats, if you do it wrongly, you will come out more jialat. How many of you have gone for retreats? Would you say that you understand the Dhamma? Oh, so hard, this question. So on the ego, so not so good. Huh? Would you say you are happy to teach the Dhamma? It's tough because you're not so sure yet. I know what you're saying, but I don't know what you're saying. Huh? The feeling is a bit like that. Huh? Only you guys can understand this expression. I know what you're saying, but I'm also not so sure that what you're saying. Does it answer your question? Actually, the Buddha's method, by the way, honestly, the Buddha's Dhamma, it's all found in the suttas. You understand the suttas properly and correctly, you actually don't need a teacher. The Buddha, in his last words to his disciple, in some of the last words he said to his disciples, the Buddha said, let the Dhamma Vinaya be your guide. Remember that? Never read my book. My ego can't take it. Let the Dhamma Vinaya be your guide. You don't need a teacher. You don't need the leader of the organization. You only need the Dhamma Vinaya. So you say, oh, I'm a layperson. Got no Vinaya, man? Vinaya actually means restrain over your conduct. It's discipline, disciplining yourself. You took 5 precepts, right? So your Vinaya is 5 lah. People want 227, yours 5 lah. But that's your Vinaya. Of course, if you are serious about the practice, then your Vinaya very the kilat one, okay? 3 only. Watch the mind, watch the words, watch the action. That's it. 3, okay? And therefore, in the sutta, it's everything. From beginning to the end. I.e., what's beginning? Beginning is when you don't know much about the Dhamma, you're very lost, you're very confused. He tells you all that there is to know is there. It's the beginning. How to practice, what to see, how to move on to the next step, what else to look at, what else to register, what else to see, what more to practice, what must I let go of, how do I let go, what do I cut in my mind. Everything is there. All the way to Nibbana. Okay, we're not there yet. All the way to entering the stream. It's all there. And he taught it all the way to Nibbana. So not just the stream. Enter the stream, you don't sit down there and get ice cream. Get up, move on. Let go some more, move. Okay? Any other question? Yes?
Sorry, brother here.
Okay, you go first since you got the mic. And then he can have it.
Referring to our word, I think that the word you mentioned also at the beginning. So, we notice that there's more and more happening. We call it suffering. We realized 2,600 years ago, Buddha said the same thing. But I'd like to ask you, we also have not only knowing suffering, not realizing, but also we know the second noble truth. Maybe can you cultivate the second noble truth, how to reduce what's happening in this world. I'm not talking about Buddhism, I'm talking about the earth, our world. How to cultivate the second noble truth, because I realize also more temple, more religious people, and more religious places in the world. So my question is how to cultivate this, the second noble truth, to help the environment, our world.
You know, the Buddha's Dhamma starts with fixing the problem at home. Home. The Buddha's Dhamma starts with fixing the problem in your mind. The second noble truth is really about a very core part of fixing the mind's problem. Let me explain. The Four Noble Truths, remember how the Buddha worded it. It's important to know how he worded it. By the way, when you read the sutta, when you read his words, you don't read it your way. Meaning scheme. No already. Cannot scheme like that. You read it very carefully and you note the exact noun, pronoun, verb, what he used. I kid you not. If you were to watch it, read it very carefully and looking at the verb, the exact expression of the verb, you will have insights of the Dhamma you may never see, you may have never noticed. Okay, Four Noble Truths. First Noble Truth. The first Noble Truth is a Noble Truth of dukkha. This Noble Truth must be understood, has been understood. So, Noble Truth of dukkha. Dukkha has to be understood. People will say, but I understand. No, you feel, you don't understand. There is a big difference between experiencing dukkha and knowing, understanding dukkha. Understanding dukkha means being able to look at the dukkha and logically internalize the different aspects of dukkha. Know the different forms of dukkha. You are staring and understanding it like a scientist. What's the difference? You drive a car, you understand the car or not? You can feel the power. You have no idea how the engine works. Understanding dukkha and feeling dukkha is like that. You can feel the power, but you have no idea how it works. So, first noble truth has been understood. Must be understood. Has been understood. You don't understand it objectively, you don't know dukkha. That's what Buddha said, like that. The second noble truth has to be abandoned. Has been abandoned. In other words, you are so clear how your mind craves, what it craves after. You are able to let that craving go. Abandon, the word bahana, is to let go. It's an active letting it go. Abandon is not seizing. Abandon is to let it go. Meaning you have a choice. You can feed or you can let it be. And you chose to let it be. That's abandon. The third noble truth is sachikiriyacha, to be realized, tasted, experienced. You know as it is. People smack you, pain, like that. You feel it the moment the craving drops, you feel it. You don't know how to let go, it cannot drop. That's how the three of them are linked. First noble truth, you understand it objectively, intellectually, at one level. Slowly, you begin to understand it deeper. Now you see the understanding. Initially it's conceptually, intellectually. Eventually the understanding takes on a knowing. A knowing. What does it mean by a knowing? It means that beneath that understanding, it's a lot of explanation which you have figured out intellectually, but you also feel it now. So you can see the experience of dukkha as not unpleasant, but the dukkha is just the way things are. You don't feel the unpleasantness as much. And eventually you don't even feel the unpleasantness anymore because you understand it. I'll give you an example. How many of you have cut your hand before? Anywhere you cut also can. Cut hand, cut leg, cut body, all can. Cut, right? After you cut, initially there is it's painful, so painful, so painful. So painful, right? But after a while, it's okay lah, it's okay lah. Do you not feel the pain anymore? Suddenly you grow thicker skin, don't feel pain? No, you still feel pain. But this one doesn't feel the pain as much. It's the same thing. As you begin to understand something, you begin to accept it, it no longer hurts. The sensation of unpleasantness is no longer as strong. And eventually, even that sensation of unpleasantness disappears. True understanding. The last one, sorry, I missed out one more. The last one, the fourth noble truth, develop, has been developed. Develop means what? Develop is a verb that is continuous. The word develop, right, is a verb that it goes on. When you develop something, you constantly act on it. You constantly have it. You go on. Would you say, example, would you say the development of Singapore comes to an end at a point? Would you say that? You will assume development continues forever, as long as Earth lasts. Yes? The same thing. The Eightfold Path has to be developed, has been developed. He didn't say has been completed. He said has been developed. Which means that on this path, you never stop practicing the Eightfold Path. You never stop. You I'm Arahant, I stop already. No such thing. You Arahant, you continue to develop. The difference between his version of development and our version of development is, his version is continuing to live like this. You never let it go. Our version is we try to get there. We try to get there. We try to get to a point where we understand. You see that difference? Okay? So to answer your question directly now, whatever the world happens is out there. Those are the result of many people's action. It is not the individual's job to go and fix every mind. All you can do is keep the Dhamma alive. Keep the practice, the method alive. But if you don't know the method, what are you keeping alive? So you first got to start with knowing the method, knowing how it works, doing it for yourself, and knowing that it works. If you don't know how it works, and you don't know what to say, how you keep something alive, you also don't know whether you keep the right thing or the wrong thing alive. This one is good, this one is good, wrong. By the time you realize it's wrong and you're promoting it, you're dead. No, it can be as bad as that. Can you imagine you go around teaching Dhamma? You go around teaching Dhamma, but you have never actually tasted Dhamma. Then what are you teaching? You can ask yourself or not. It's scary. And once you start teaching, it will affect the mind. In your mind, you are going around saying, this is the one true method. This one correct, this one correct, this one correct, you say. If it turns out to be wrong, what are you going to do? You spend your entire life promoting this one. You see what I'm saying? So it is not funny. You can teach anything, ride bicycle, drive a car, but Dhamma, you need to be responsible. And if you don't know, so some people may say, don't know, don't teach. Don't know, teach Sutta. Say Sutta like this. This is what Sutta say. Sutta say like this. Sutta say it like this. Then does that mean that Sutta didn't say it like this? At least you are holding on to Dhamma. Okay? So, don't go fix the world. I can tell you, the world not so bad one. I tell you why. Number one, your world is not having a war. You are all not starving. I mean, I'm not seeing people lying on the floor. Sorry, you thought Dhamma is okay. I'm just resting here. We are not. You have good medical care. You have good health, decent health. You have got food. You don't have to worry about food. So you are good. You're fine. Not so bad, not so bad. Usually, when we say something is bad, it's because here, not happy. Here, not happy. So the Buddha says, learn contentment. Learn to be content, and being content is a blessing. One last question from you, and then we are done, okay?
My question is, conceit is related to the self-image, right? But I was thinking that it could be more on the skillful me, because sometimes to be confident or on self-esteem also is important.
Okay.
So what's the difference? I mean, is that the difference in the direction toward the wisdom?
Good question. Having confidence is not conceit. Confidence is there are actually two different mental energy. The confidence mental energy says, I can do it. I know how to. It's a proactive, something can be done. The conceit energy is the comparing part will come in. I can do it better than you. I smarter than you. So the comparing part comes in. The confidence part does not necessarily have a comparing angle. The two of them are separate. But of course, they can be brothers. So confidence comes in and drag along conceit. But there are two different mental energy. Okay? You see the difference, huh? And therefore, as a practitioner, you have to be really skillful means. See the confidence, don't compare. You see the confidence arises, don't compare. Confidence is a pleasant, it feels good. Conceit is not pleasant, it feels unpleasant. The mental energy is unpleasant. Okay? And the other form of conceit, the one with the mental image, it's usually, this mental image makes you feel good. This mental image makes you better than others. There is still an element of comparison. It's a mental image that you like and you go compare it with others. There will still be an element of that. Let me ask you, let's say everybody die, Alanina. You're the only one left. Does it matter whether you look good? You see what I'm saying? We all got mental image, right? Let's just say the world is in an absolute chaos. His world, the one that he was talking about. It's really bad, really bad. And then the water coming, and we're all sinking into the water, that kind of thing, very bad, right? So let's say it's his world, and the whole catastrophe, is apocalypse, okay? Does it really matter how good you look? Now the world admires me, but we're all dead. So it's always with relation to someone else. Okay? Thank you.